Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Open Sports Page. I'm Sid Rosenberg.
He's back, and I'm Amber Wilson.
Nice to be back. I missed you last week.
I missed you, too.
Hope you missed me. By the way, Andy is not nearly as fat in real life as he looks on camera.
Andy always complains about that, actually.
It's the grimace.
I'm not either.
No, I know that. You look great on camera as well. And we've got a spectacular show for you today. As always, we get you caught up on all the major stories coming out of Week 1 in the NFL season. Plus, we'll examine why the NCAA needs better judgment from their officials. But first, Amber, let's take a look at the front page.
It looks like Patriots quarterback Tom Brady suffered a season-ending knee injury in New England's Week 1 win against the Kansas City Chiefs, leaving the QB reins to back up Matt Castle while the team looks for more options. Are the Patriots done? What does this mean for the rest of the AFC, Sid?
I would say they're not done, mostly because they're playing inside a division where the Bills looked real good in Week 1, but I'm not sold on Buffalo. The Jets got a nice road victory, not sold on the Jets, and the Dolphins are the Dolphins. Plus, couple that with the fact that the Colts lost to the Bears, the Chargers lost to Carolina. The only team inside that conference, Amber, that looked really good in Week 1 was the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were dominant. But outside of that, look, Brady came in for an injury to Drew Bledsoe, and I'm not saying you can catch lightning in a bottle like that again a couple of years later, but they may be good enough, the rest of the team, the defense under Bill Belichick, to at least stick around. Not saying they can win a Super Bowl, but inside an AFC, they could still stick around.
Well, and they're working out Chris Sims. They're looking at their options beyond Matt Castle as well. And, of course, who knows what Matt Castle will do. He's been a backup since high school, though, so I don't have high expectations for him. Obviously, he has a lot of great weapons around him. The Patriots, of course, though, did not look good in preseason play without Brady, so they may be in some trouble. But like you mentioned, pretty easy, it appears anyways right now, pretty easy conference, maybe much easier than we thought it was going to be. The Jaguars lost as well. There was a lot of changes after, Week 1 than we expected preseason. A lot of the teams that had hype around them not living up to the hype, particularly in the AFC. And the Patriots do have a pretty easy schedule, or at least that's what people are calling it. So,
and your point is well taken about the AFC, because I think before the start of the year, everybody would have told you, Amber, the strength is inside the AFC.
Right.
But you look at the way Dallas played in beating Cleveland, the way the Giants played, the way the Eagles played, the way the Saints played.
NFC looks good.
They do. Maybe some of the power has shifted a little bit, and certainly the injury to Tom Brady and Peyton Manning look a bit rusty against the Bears in Week 1. Things may be different.
I think it might be.
Well, here's a story you're going to like, Amber. The Florida Gators squeezed out a hard-fought win over the University of Miami on Saturday night in the swamp.
Squeezed out? We won by 23 points. How did we squeeze out a win?
Andy's trying to be funny.
Andy.
Yeah, 26-3 was the final. Normally, there would be no reason to discuss a top-ranked team handling an inferior opponent like this, but Urban Meyer, the head coach at Florida, taking a lot of heat for sending his field goal unit out on the field with 30 seconds to play to make a meaningless field goal up by 20, except they were up by 20. The spread was 22. They win by 23. You don't think that it's possible? I know you're a Florida Gator. Take your Gator face-off hat off for a second. You don't think that it's possible that the boosters for Florida lead the 22, big money, and up by 20, they kick a field goal with 30 seconds left?
I just think this is ridiculous.
Why?
I think football is played with as many seconds left as there are on the clock. There's 60 minutes of football to play. Let's play 60 minutes. Let's man up. Let's not complain about somebody running up the score on us or scoring too many points. And when a coach scores points when he can, when he kicks field goals or scores touchdowns or scores points in any way he can in the closing minutes, to then, you're saying that he needed to take the knee so that he doesn't get accused of such ridiculous things.
I mean, I saw Michigan play this weekend. They had a first and goal at the 7. They were up by 16. The quarterback took a knee. In the NFL, it's the same thing. And let me tell you something.
It's incredible to me.
No, it's incredible that you don't think there was some type of fishiness here. I mean, if they ran the ball up the middle and scored a touchdown and won by 27, I'd be less concerned today than to bring the field goal unit. What is the difference between winning by 20 or 23?
They did go for a touchdown. Tebow threw a pass.
Yeah.
The receiver ran for a touchdown, Louis Murphy.
They called it back.
He got a touchdown. They called it back because they didn't have enough men on the line of scrimmage.
That was 6 minutes earlier. That was 6.5 minutes left in the game. This is 30 seconds left. What is the difference? Miami is unranked. It does not help you in the BCS. So what is the difference between winning by 20 or 23 other than the spread is 22?
The man has a newbie kicker playing for him. This was the first field goal in his career.
Pressure cooker.
Telling me,
Pressure cooker.
hey, you're telling me that it's not invaluable experience to have your first
That's
field
what I'm
goal
telling
instead
you.
in front of a record crowd?
In a 20-point lead with 30 seconds left, there's no pressure there. That did that kicker no good. If you would have told me end of the game, of course not.
Okay, so
let's say he misses, you still win by 20.
When there's 30 seconds left in the Swamp against LSU in Week 8,
yeah,
when that happens, and we need a field goal in order to tie or win the game, then you're not going to think it was a stupid move that Urban put him into this position.
You're going to tell me that kicking this field goal against Miami is going to give him confidence in a tie game against LSU in 4 weeks? No chance. This was a zero-pressure situation. They were up by 20 points. There was no pressure on the game.
Okay, so because we played the game when there was time left on the game, because we scored the points that we can, now we're gambling.
Because it was
now
a 20.
It
was a 22-point spread. You don't put your field goal unit out there. By the way,
this is like Little League or something. Like we're supposed to kneel when there's time left on the clock. Like poor Miami. We scored too many points on them. We should have just knelt.
You do understand.
We should have a sportsmanship. Maybe we shouldn't even keep score.
You do understand that other than Gator fans, and you went to Florida, understand that 99% of the country thinks this is Bush League. You do understand that, right? I know you're coming from the Gator point of view. You kneel down when you're up by 20 with 30 seconds left every time.
Let's go back through the history of the Miami-Florida rivalry. Then,
Urban Meyer wasn't there.
Let's go back to 1981 when they kicked a field goal on us, and the last play when they were up 20 points on us, they did the exact same thing. This is an in-state rivalry. We haven't beat these guys in over 20 years.
Right.
I can personally list tons of times I was at Miami games or in the Swamp when we were playing Miami, like back in 2002, or at the Sugar Bowl when they kicked our asses. I can name tons of times when they beat us. And I will tell you this, we all hate Miami. Miami all hates us.
Right.
And we deserved every second of that game.
Okay.
Every point that we scored, every second of that game.
Okay,
it's an in-state rivalry.
I understand.
Play football when you can.
Okay, first of all, it's not a rivalry anymore because Miami and Florida have not played a meaningful football game in about 20 years. Truth be told, Urban Meyer was not the coach when Miami beat Florida 20 years ago, so it's not like he's feeling he wants to exact revenge. There is no way you can convince me, and you're a Florida person, get me somebody who does not play for Florida, who did not go for Florida, and try to convince me that winning by 23 when you're a 22-point favorite and electing to bring your field goal unit on the field, when, by the way, that's the only way something can go wrong. Miami can block it, return it for a touchdown.
Well,
there is no reason to
score.
And
you can make that argument. Maybe coaching-wise, maybe it was a risky move on Urban's part.
It was a fix.
Maybe Tim Tebow could have gotten injured in the last minutes. You can argue that way, but you cannot tell me it was a fix. You cannot tell me
no question.
This was Urban Meyer's betting on this game.
No question.
It's ridiculous.
I've been around gambling.
When you can
I've been around
football.
gambling my whole life. I've been around bettors, football players, college kids. There is no question, whether it's Urban Meyer or a booster, somebody at Florida made sure that coach won that game by 23
how much you're favored by and whether you cover the spread does matter in the rankings. So it's not all about that. Just ask freaking Georgia.
Right.
If they'd beat Georgia Southern and they'd cut their spread, they'd still be #1 in the nation right now.
Georgia knelt down at the end of the game with a chance to score some more points. Everybody does except for Florida against Miami this weekend.
This is ridiculous. And if they hadn't, they'd be #1 still, so they should have. There's plenty more to come here on the OSP. When we come back, Sid and I will take a look at the Monday Night Football matchups between the Packers and the Vikings and Raiders and Broncos. Page 2 coming up. Don't go anywhere.
For more great videos, check back every day on opensports.com.